Former President Trump has filed for a stay in his New York civil fraud trial. That's the one that's been ongoing in Manhattan. He was there for the first 3 days. MSNBC anchor Lindsay Reiser is outside the courthouse. What just happened inside?
So, Chris, they've been discussing an open court there. Remember, this is a bench trial, no jury, so just in front of the judge. This issue of a stay while Trump's team is appealing this summary judgment, saying that the former president is liable for fraud that was released last week. The defense team won't say exactly the scope of this stay. It could be the consequences of the summary judgment. So that includes some news from this morning from an order the judge released, which is giving them an October 26th deadline for both sides to identify potential receivers for the dissolution of Trump Organization LLCs. This was something that the judge ordered in his summary judgment. Also, any movements of assets or liabilities would have to go through and be notified to an independent monitor who's a former judge in this situation. The scope could be that. The scope could be a stay or a pause of the entire trial that we're seeing right now. So we can expect more developments on that to come. But court back in session. We heard from Donald Bender the last few days, Trump's former accountant. And now we're hearing from Jeffrey McConney, former SVP of the Trump Organization, who's testifying that it was the accountant, Bender's firm, that was charged with preparing these financial statements that the AG's office says were overinflated. But he admitted that Trump was entitled to final review of those financial statements. Now, the Attorney General also introducing a list of documents showing Trump properties that McConney had marked up with new values, essentially saying that to get loans, for example, that Trump's assets were client reported. Now, as for Bender, he was the accountant who finished up cross. We saw some more fireworks today, Chris, that were reminiscent of what happened yesterday. The judge getting frustrated with the pace of the cross-examination from Trump's team, essentially saying, how long is this going to go on? That it was very repetitive, going year after year through these financial statements. The judge wants to keep this on a tight timeline because the trial could go as long as through December. But certainly, Chris, some new legal developments here in this civil case.